The case began in autumn of 1966. The decline of the lake. Rusty Lake has lost almost all of its funds and couldn't run its company because Trump and Kermit's hotels were superior. After the news of the 5 deaths and how Sonic and Squidward were tied into all of this, the Rusty Lake Hotel shut down. As wealthy as Mr. Owl is, his funds have been drained and his reputation is ruined. Even so, he still clung on to the spirits of the lake because the payoff would be huge. It is his life's work after all.
Bing bing bong bong.
One day Mr. Owl hears about Trump wanting to bring Squidward back to life. Hearing this was his opportunity to strike. Mr. Owl pays Shrek's wife, Fiona, what little money he has left to get her to convince Trump to go through with the revival ritual. Which was actually a trap. The real ritual he's making Fiona do is a lot more sinister. Fiona for the past while has been making diary entries to keep herself from breaking. The first entry starting out with her current life with Shrek. The second, describing how Shrek got drunk and beat her, and the third, showing that she snuck out from home finding the newspaper of the death of the lake. She was overwhelmed with the feeling of justice, revenge and karma. Fiona has wanted a divorce from Shrek for a while now after finding out he would go to strip clubs with Hitler and get drunk with Sans Comida and Kanye. Fiona knew something was up when Mr. Owl approached her, but she went through with it because if it wasn't for him she never would have found out Shrek had been cheating on her. Also, it's because of him that the person Shrek was cheating on her with is dead. Showing Fiona justice. Even though Mr. Owl is a wanted man by the whole town and huge amounts of profits would be rewarded to the person who turns him in, Fiona decided to keep this encounter a secret. Thus the two of them made a deal.
The lake will be grateful.
The body swap ritual requires a vessel in the center of the star, that being Trump. Trump thinks that this ritual is the revival ritual, so when Fiona tells him that his body would be sacrificed so Squidward could come back, he accepts. The real revival ritual requires either an already dead corpse or an object that the soul could possess, like a puppet or a doll. Trump needed 6 other people he trusted to help perform the ritual with, being the mystery gang and the ritual spokesperson, Fiona. Before the whole trick ritual took place, Fiona felt bad for Trump.
What are they all staring at?
Trump has just discovered that one of his most trusted friends murdered his husband for money, and here she is selling him out to the composer of this twisted play and she doesn't even know his motives. She felt very guilty and in a loop. On one hand she wanted to help the man who killed the guy her husband cheated on her with, but on the other she didn't want to be seen as the type of person to stab someone in the back when they are most vulnerable. So before the ritual, she done the real revival ritual on a Squidward wax dummy that she got from Mr. Potato Head's wax figures in an abandoned warehouse. But it failed. Or so she thought. She left the warehouse and sealed it shut, not telling anyone including Mr. Owl and Trump about this incident. On the meanwhile, Mr. Owl planted some water balloons outside his treehouse, but one of them containing Mickey's special poison, which becomes heavier than air when vaporized. He also set up a tripwire that would set the treehouse on fire if stepped on. Mr. Owl sets up his portion of the ritual in the same secret treehouse where Sonic and Hitler died in. He made sure that the Scooby Gang would be participating in this event. He sliced up his arms and legs to make it look like he had been tortured before dying. This is what he wanted people to think, and it worked. But it would also hide poisons that would enter the body. The body swap ritual. When the ritual is complete, Mr. Owl would be in Trump's body and same vice versa. Mr. Owl, now in Trump's body, will now direct the Scooby Gang to the treehouse to where they would trip the wire and trigger the trap. The Scooby Gang would trip over the wire, causing the treehouse to set aflame. They would also try to extinguish it with the fire water balloon. One of them killing the Trump in owl skin. The reason why the Scooby Gang didn't get killed when they went into the treehouse was because since the poison is heavier than air when vaporized, the poison just sank to the floor, meaning that they had to be lying down in order for it to kill them. Mr. Owl and Fiona fabricate evidence with Pepper's movie producers. They even get Pepper to give a false accusation saying that the Scooby Gang did it, along with 100 other paid people. On top of that, since now Mr. Owl is in Trump's body, he got granted access to all of Trump's wealth and power, buying himself the best lawyers. And even paying the Scooby Gang's lawyer, Barry B. Benson, to do a bad job defending the gang, ultimately winning the trial of the century and sending the Scooby Gang to death row, where they have died. The Scooby Gang died not finding the true culprit of this case, and until they do, their souls refuse to rest. There wasn't a single case that they couldn't solve, up till now. So, look through your evidence and convict the killer who threw the poison water balloon. Oh, and open the box.